So I've been talking to a lot of clients about the patterns they get stuck in, patterns I get stuck in. And certainly this is something none of us are going to escape. We're going to see our patterns as they come up. And patterns are clusters of embedded, I don't want to call them programmed, from early interactions before we really understood with our minds. So the problem at releasing these patterns, and what happens is our patterns we feel stuck in them. We feel like we're trapped in them, that we can't change. And the reason is because they're loaded in so early in life before we have a mental capacity, the cognitive capacity to understand them, to do anything differently. So, I'm sure you've had this experience of where you've tried to think your way through to something different and it doesn't change. You still do the same thing over and over again. Maybe you try to do it differently, but you're stuck in it and caught in it. I certainly know that from my own experience. So I've had to really look at how those patterns from attachment theory, how they are and how embedded they can be before we're 3. And because they're embedded, our brain understands it into the body. So then when we try to understand with our brain and figure out what can I do differently, we get hijacked by those old patterns and we get caught up in old loops and ways of being. So here's what I started working with myself and with people. In order to release a pattern, we need to be and it's complicated. I want to talk about it in the next bit of while because the patterns aren't easily visible to us. It takes a lot of looking at them over time to be able to see how they are. It's kind of like, have you ever had a knot that is all like this and you can't pull it apart, right? That's what a pattern is like. It's all entwined with our very being. So we have to slowly take one little bit out and begin to work with that pattern and see that one little thread and then another little thread until the pieces start fitting together. So they're not clear. That's one of the great problems of it. But the other piece is we need to be able to stay in this present moment so that we can access the pattern, link them together, because that's really where the healing happens, which is all the great research now is on that we change when we're staying present in this moment. The old stuff comes up, and instead of getting hijacked by the old stuff and forgetting that we're here in this present moment, we actually bring them together. We link them together. So one of the practices I started working with myself and with a few clients is how do we bring up from inside, like letting your hands bring up from below, link together and release. It's like a mudra, if you know about mudras. It's a body posture that's no longer just about the thinking of it, but it's about trying to build some integration inside. Bringing up from within, linking it together, and releasing. So those simple movements are being able to access, open up to what's coming up, open up and being open to the pattern that's there, open up to it, link it together, release it. That's how integration happens fast, and not letting it run the show. And one of the great problems that we have is that, and this has been documented in attachment theory so well, is because these old patterns are so how we get caught and trapped in them because we don't think that there's another way to be. So that's all the more reason to be able to catch that pattern up, hold it tenderly, bring it to our heart if we need to, hold it there and say, this is the way it's been. This is the way it's been. It's helpful. I'd love to hear from you. So post comments and let me know. And